Now that's how you end a book. Here are a few fantastic books where the last few pages are so monumentally shocking that they're almost guaranteed to leave you staring in awe. What? For this list, we're counting down 6 of the most shocking book endings. We've looked at books with literary conclusions that stuck with us long after turning the last page.
You're breaking my heart.
Go. You're my voice of reason. I need you with me.
Needless to say, a spoiler warning is in order. Number 6, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Pass the tissue box. This shocking ending is emotionally loaded and truly tragic. The book tells the unique love story of 2 teenagers who have cancer. Hazel and Augustus find each other during the toughest time in their lives and end up falling in love.
I am in love with you.
Things take a turn for the worse as Hazel gets sicker and sicker. Ultimately, one of the characters tragically dies, but it's Augustus, who's been getting worse all along. It's an ending that's left us in puddles of our own emotions. Number 5, Life of Pi by Yann Martel. The confusing ending heard around the world. Readers that make it to the end of the novel about a young Pi being trapped in a lifeboat with a tiger and various other zoo animals will discover a different version of the story, one that paints a much darker and emotionally disturbing variation of events. Pi may have been trapped with other people instead, and told the animal story as an allegory because the reality was far too traumatic to process. It's a question intentionally left unanswered so that readers can make up their own minds. Number 4, Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. Before the movie, there was a book. David Fincher's 1999 movie Fight Club is based on Chuck Palahniuk's book by the same name, which came out just 3 years before. We'll skip the twist that Tyler and Joe are really one and the same and skip right to the shocking ending. At the end of the novel, Tyler Durden wants to die in the explosions he is setting off. To save his own life, the narrator shoots himself in the head. The book ends with the narrator waking up in the hospital, thinking he is free of space monkeys and Tyler Durden, until one of the orderlies reveals himself to be a loyal space monkey. "Everything's going according to the plan," he whispers. "We look forward to getting you back." It's a grim and hopeless finale that ties up the book's themes in a way that the film doesn't. Number 3, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. The story will have you so invested that you'll have no choice but to finish the book in one sitting. Candace Sinclair spends her summers on a private island with her family and her group of friends, the Liars. But when she's 15, she suffers a terrible accident and has trouble piecing together her memories of that summer. She returns 2 summers later with the Liars there to help her remember what happened before the accident. Except that the Liars aren't actually there. They're ghosts, because they all died in a fire the summer that she was 15. It's one of the twistiest, turniest books in young adult literature that will have you looking back through the beginning to see the subtle hints you've missed. Number 2, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. The book itself isn't your usual fast-paced thriller, so it gives you plenty of time to try to guess who the culprit is. And then you'll be staring at the last page with your mouth wide open. Hercule Poirot's friend is murdered in mysterious circumstances, and the famed detective takes on the task of finding Roger Ackroyd's killer. Nothing unusual so far, until you find out that the narrator himself did it. Roger Ackroyd was murdered by Dr. James Shepherd, the very man who tells us about his death. He only admits to his crime in the final chapter, claiming that the whole account leading up to the revelation as the history of one of Poirot's failures.
You mustn't upset yourself, Poirot.
No, you are correct.
The signs are there, but they're subtle, unless you're Hercule Poirot. Number 1, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. It's the kind of shock that makes you bolt upright in your chair, feverishly turning the pages and think, did she really just do that? 2012's Gone Girl novel left readers reeling with unreliable narration, plot twists, and suspense. After Amy Dunn frames her husband Nick for her murder, as revenge for him having an affair, among other complicated reasons, she makes a triumphant yet dramatic return. Just as Nick is about to tell the world about Amy's sociopathic behavior, she hits him with one more surprise. Amy's pregnant. The real shocker, the fact that Nick chooses to stay with Amy forever to protect his child from her, as one incredibly messed up family. It's a happily ever after ending that's frustrating on so many levels. But it sure does win the prize for the world's most dysfunctional marriage. What book ending left you awestruck? Let us know in the comments.